All right, Cathy's, we are back. You wanted 2 episodes this week. You got it. You got 2 episodes. We're going to start the streak.
Let's keep it going. Are you traveling next week?
Yeah. I don't know when, but I know I am. We'll see. The big news. There's a lot of big news happening.
There's too much news.
But I think the most entertaining news was Donald Trump's press conference early this morning.
Yep.
Where
I watched it live.
Oh, you watched it live? Where a reporter was asking about the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell. And
who he appointed, by the way.
Yeah. In the
Sleepy just kept him.
Yeah. Who he said it was too late and stupid.
Well, he said he's too late, Jerome, because he's not cutting rates fast enough. Yeah. And then he called him stupid.
Yeah. Which I would think most people agree.
And then the other entertaining part of the press conference was he had construction workers behind him.
Yeah.
And he looked and turned at all of them. Are any of you guys illegal? He goes, you're on camera. They're going to find you if you are. It's crazy.
It's so good. That's entertaining. That's unbelievable.
He's literally treating it like Celebrity Apprentice.
Yeah, I mean, his life is a TV show. Have you watched the movie The Apprentice?
No, on him, no.
No, so there's a movie called The Apprentice. It's about how he learned and was mentored by Roy Cohn, who is a lawyer in New York City, a very powerful lawyer when Donald Trump was coming up in the city. And basically, a lot of the things that he learned and his mannerisms, and it was from that like time period in his life, and how it just kind of followed him for the rest of his life.
And just to add, like, because it is serious what's going on, at least in LA. I don't know about other cities, but in the federal building, Wilshire and 405,
yeah,
it looks like Baghdad.
Meaning?
There's tanks everywhere.
Yeah.
There's like, at least I could probably surmise that there was 50 Marines with machine guns.
Yeah.
0 protests.
Yeah. Well, that's how you stop it.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
To see that on an LA street.
Yeah.
And then I kind of did some digging. So Karen Bass and Newsom have basically said, like, you got to get rid of these guys. But that's a federal property. So I think that was the exemption. So they can't be like they can't even be on the sidewalk, I don't think, because they were literally behind the sidewalk.
Yeah. I'm sure there's enough federal buildings in the city of Los Angeles.
I know downtown has them too.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Anyone in LA, just drive by the federal building on Wilshire.
Yeah.
You were just there yesterday, weren't you? Or 2 days ago?
Not all the way down there. I said it was a block short. Yeah, I didn't make it all the way. Well, America first. Keep riding the wave. So anyways, the Federal Reserve was the big story. I mean, as much as all the crazy shit that's happening in the world, the only thing, sadly, that matters for economic purposes are the interest rates.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, if you just even look, the threat of war between Israel and Iran, potential threat of nuclear war, potential threat of oil flow being slowed down in that region of the world, nothing had an impact on the stock market. The market moves when this guy speaks.
Yeah.
He is the most powerful person on earth.
Financially, for sure.
I mean, what else is there?
Yeah.
Let money dictate.
Well, I mean, Trump can launch nukes.
Yeah, but let's assume that, like, that isn't, that's not realistic of what he's going to do. And money is the most important thing. And when it comes to all of these conflicts, hearing Jerome Powell speak, it's like, you just watch the market. It's just like dead still. And then he says, oh, we're open to cuts, but we're not open right now. But we can open.
Yeah. So the market generally was flat.
Yeah.
After he
shot up for a minute.
Yeah. And there was some green, but it wasn't like anything crazy. Yeah. I think Coinbase was the only company, and we could talk about that in a bit. Here's the thing I think the markets are going to predict, because this was I think on Polymarket it was 98% chance 0 cuts today.
Yep.
But his term's up in 6 months. There's no way Trump is appointing him again.
Yeah.
So the rumor is Bessent. So now the market's going to price in Bessent just slashing interest rates.
We need to cut 2.5 points.
Yeah, 2.5 points.
That's what Trump said, not
Bessent, but Trump said, I think interest rates are like 4.25 to 4.5.
Yeah.
And
he likes 2.
He wants 2.
Yeah. 2 was hot. And 2 was a great time in America.
The market's going to price that in.
Yeah.
In the next 6 months, even if Powell, late Powell, stupid Powell. I've been saying he's an idiot for years.
Yeah. I agree now that Trump said it.
I've been saying since 21 when inflation was 5.6% and he did nothing.
I think to his, which will never, time will only tell. I think everyone wants the rates cut, but it is dangerous to cut them too soon when there's still inflation in the market. So I think
the argument against that is that we have this massive deficit.
Yeah.
And to refinance it.
Yeah. That should be the only reason why you cut.
Yeah.
It saves America.
Yeah.
And there will be inflation because of it. But if you assume that like refinancing the government debt is the most important and you have some short-term inflation, I actually don't think you have short-term inflation, and I'll tell you why.
Well, because the economy's soft.
Yes. And so one of the things is retail sales fell 0.9% in May, the second largest drop since March 2023. And 7 of the 13 categories saw a decrease, with the decline being driven by building materials, gasoline, and motor vehicles, which seeing those things decline is just like, those are foundational pieces of the economy. And then restaurant and bar spending, the only service category in the report, posted its biggest drop since February 2023. Restaurants and bars, that mid-tier of restaurant and bars, they're struggling.
So I was at the Grove. I think I mentioned this Sunday. I forget.
Yeah.
Dead empty.
But you said that's because of ICE. And
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
There's no protest right now.
Yeah. I don't think that's that crowd.
Yeah. And Amanda took Vivian there this afternoon earlier. It's a little early, but she said it was dead empty. Another friend was at the Grove, dead empty.
Yeah. Retail sales. So consumer spending, retail sales fell 0.9% in May, but in retail sales adjusted for inflation declined 2.5%. And so I don't know if it's enough of a decline that causes like full-blown recession. I think it's enough of a decline that causes a lot of pain, but doesn't really show up across the entire economy. Will only show up really in primarily like mid-tier businesses that are serving the middle class. I think that's where it,
like a TGI Fridays, Chili's, CPK.
Yeah, I think on the restaurant bars, yes. I think in retail sales, I think it affects a Macy's, a Nordstrom. I think it affects those places. I don't know if it affects Walmart.
No, because you still need goods.
Yeah, you need grocery. It's really the non-essential spending that's getting cut.
So here's the interesting thing with it, just doesn't affect the ultra high net worth, because Canline, can you explain what it is? I actually don't even know.
It's a boondoggle for the basically marketing executives. So years ago, it was for like the advertising industry and advertising execs to get together for a boondoggle in Cannes. Now it's Coachella for adults.
I saw so many people we know posting from Canline that had no business being there.
All the people that posted have no business being there. 100% of the people that you saw posted have no reason to be there. People are hitting me up. He goes, "We meeting up in Cannes?" I'm like, "For what?" He goes, "What the fuck
is their business actually done?"
So
because I know Spotify has a hot party. They always have some big artist. And I saw Delilah at Anderson Paak.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say is, I think with anything that happens in any industry, the focus is fun first, business second. But what happens is when you go and have fun with people you work with, business does actually happen. So as crazy as it sounds, showing up to Can Line, which is basically like a useless, boondoggle
And I can't even imagine what the hotel rates were.
Yeah, I mean,
it's got to be $2,000 minimum.
Well, it depends where you stay. If you stay at
Can's pretty small.
Yeah, but like they have shithole places, and you could stay out.
Yeah, and just drive in.
It's not. There's no traffic. It's just 20 minutes, whatever. So I think you can do it cheap if you wanted to, but it's just like so many things in the industry. In any industry, they have their events. Like what's CES?
Yeah. Well, think about the corporations funding that. It's Microsoft,
it's
Amazon.
Like, think about Can Line. It's Google, it's Spotify, it's
Andreessen Horowitz.
It's big dogs. And why not, right? Like, you want to go, pretend to talk about work. Why not do it in Can?
I mean, it looks sick. I'm not going to lie.
Of course it's sick. Can's awesome. Yeah. And then you throw in like, last year I went to a show for the travel, like duty free industry. You could pick anywhere to have that show. They picked Can.
Yeah. I saw Andre from William Morris, who listens. He was posting his face off.
Yeah. I mean, it's perfect for him. Like that's where I bet you there's a lot of young talent. There's probably every big media company is there. It's like, why wouldn't you be there? But yeah, I mean, I think like there's so many celebrities there now. It's become a thing. It's kind of like you can make an argument that like every major event could be a business reason. Because you do meet people. I mean, I go to everything.
Yeah, I saw Andre posted Jeffrey Katzenberg.
Yeah.
Who's one of the biggest business people in Los Angeles history.
Yeah. So that's my point, is that everyone, I guarantee you, every major exec from every major company just goes. Like, these people are, LinkedIn has a huge installation. Spotify.
There's a route over the year with all these events that you never work.
Yeah. You could do, if you're doing F1.
Then you do like the Allen conference.
Yeah.
You do the Art Basel, Coachella.
I mean, summer, there's so many things you can
Swim
hit. Swim week. I don't know if that one's really crossed over to Miami. Swim week hasn't really hit. Like, I don't know if you're going to see, if you see execs there, that's for a completely different reason.
That's for the freak offs.
Yeah. So I don't think that's happening for any business reasons, but you could make the argument that a lot of other things.
There's something in Montana. There's Davos.
There's always something. Well, look, I think there's a certain tier of founders that like go to certain things, and then you'll go to your industry's boondoggle conference. So like whatever your industry, like if you're in media and advertising, entertainment, Can Line's an easy excuse. Like I was thinking about it through the lens of like, what would be the reason I would have to be there? And there wasn't. I could not figure out a reason why someone like me would have to be there.
So marketing execs go there to achieve what?
So it back in the day, from what I know it was the big media companies and advertising execs.
So and then, kind of like an upfront for marketing.
That type of vibe. And then tech came. So then all the technology people came. If tech comes, that means investors come. If investors comes, that means someone's fronting the bill now.
Yeah, because they're paying for
it. And then just think about how big these companies have gotten. Like Spotify.
Yeah, it's
humongous, massive company. So like, of course, they host advertisers. Think about it. If you were going to go spend money to entertain your clients, where you want to go? Nashville?
Yeah.
Go to Can. Ball the fuck out and go to Can.
I mean, I know Anthony's been the beneficiary of his clients performing at that Spotify party.
Yeah. So like
they pay up.
Yeah, because it's inconvenient to go there. It's not like a convenient location. And so I mean, I get it. Like, I think every industry needs to find their Can Line.
It's just not going to be in Can.
Why not? Why it can? That's the name of the place. It's not called Can't. Let's go Can.
I mean, so you think so? Like
the concrete industry.
exactly, it's billions.
They should have Can.
It's in Vegas
It
instead.
should be called Concrete. That should be called Concrete. Every trade
Because
show.
all those Vegas trade shows is big money.
Yeah. And
Big money.
the problem is a lot of those types of communities prefer Vegas over Can.
Yes, that's true.
Because
It's comfortable. It's like going to Hawaii versus going to Asia.
It's comfortable from food, hotel, flights, and then you have every vice available at your fingertip.
And there's so many hotels that the pricing can be done affordable.
You can do it cheap.
There's plenty of shitty hotels in Vegas.
Yeah, you can get a room right now, $50 somewhere.
Tuscany.
Yeah. There's way worse than that are available. Yeah, so I don't think there's a whole lot we have to, I think every concrete could work.
Yeah.
I think every
rich.
industry could easily do a show. Pick a small subset of people and you can.
Or do another city. Do Marbella.
Kansas set up really well.
Do Marbella.
I don't know if it's set up like Kansas.
They probably don't have enough hotels.
The hotels, the restaurants are huge, and like it's just it. And the convention center. They have a convention center right there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where the show that I went to. It's a tiny convention center in comparison to what's you're used to at LA and New York, but like it exists, and it's fun. Great. Carlton Beach Club.
To tie
dancing.
the bow on it is that the amount of money that was spent.
Yeah.
Was probably gargantuan.
Yeah. So that does not show in the
consumer spending, right?
Consumer
correct.
spending.
That's what I wanted to. Bring it back.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see how it all plays out, and I think I'm pretty optimistic that retail spend will probably level out pretty soon in terms of. Do I see it free falling? I don't see it free falling because I don't see the job market still. I'm actually quite shocked. The job market is still like pretty much intact, except where you are seeing serious impact. And it's only in these industries right now. You're seeing it in tech. Microsoft announced just now they're cutting a bunch of salespeople. Amazon, Andy Jassy was talking today about how they believe that AI will give them a lot of leverage at the management level. So everything that, everyone assumed AI and robotics was going to kill the low end. It's actually killing the high end.
No, that I think we've talked about. It's
the robotics is like
white collar jobs that are going to get replaced first.
And I think robotics, with robotics, the jobs that get replaced are the jobs that nobody wants.
Yes.
Right. Like Amazon's warehouses will be fully automated in the next 5 years. Today, those are actually pretty high paying jobs. But do I believe autonomous delivery on the streets of LA and New York with autonomous trucks and nobody walking a package to a door? I don't think that's happening.
Probably not. I think it's more the high level jobs. We've said this a million times. A division that it was 10 could be 2.
Can I tell you, like, the professions that I actually think get affected the most are legal, accounting, tax. Like the other day got a contract. Normally I'd send it to we have our general lawyer that we send stuff to.
Yeah, which is like probably $500 an hour.
Yeah, easy. Put in ChatGPT, like, what should I be worried about on this thing? It called out 3-4 things, sent these notes. He's like, these things really concern me. And by the way, I did it in the first 5 minutes of saying it to me. I didn't want to look like I ChatGPT'd it, so I sent it the next day, reviewed it. It's so easy, it's so convenient, and it's fucking good.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
So I think like,
and that's on the paid version or the free version?
I have the $20 version. You can do it on the free version. It's just you only get so many queries that until it says, hey, we're busy right now, we're not going to submit your thing. But like, those are pretty high paying professions,
for sure.
In accounting and legal. So
I think software gets disrupted massively. All the SaaS companies.
Yeah. So I think that happens, but then I also do think there's going to be a million new software companies.
Yeah. So I saw Mark Andreessen, I think it was with Sam Altman. He did some interview and he had a good point. He was like, I don't think industries are going to get replaced. They're going to get rebuilt.
Yeah.
And so that was his point that he's like, we're going to rebuild these companies more efficiently. And you're right. There'll be 100 Slacks because it's going to be easy to create a Slack. And then everyone can choose what they want. And they might not be $1 billion companies. They might be $10 million companies.
Yeah, but that's my point on why I'm very optimistic about AI. I think it's going to create millions of new jobs. Because here's the thing. Even at this point today, if you wanted to, let's say you had an idea in software, if you do not have technical background or know how to manage a technical team, you're off limit. You can't do it. But in probably a year or two, we're pretty close there already for like really basic shit. You can't create anything complex, but like
you could create an app without having
like a bullshit app. Like it's not going to be good. But like in 2 years, like 10-year-old is going to be like, I want an app that tells me every time Lionel Messi goes to the bathroom. And people are going to be able to create that, and then it's going to proliferate. So I think the speed at which the development will happen and the businesses will happen. And I think like the same way, like no one thought people would be, live streaming on whatnot, selling all kinds of shit all day. And that's a business. A real business. No one thought that 5 years ago. And that whatever it is 5 years from today, it's going to be insane. Everyone's going to be creating. It's going to create a whole new world. The only thing that is interesting is someone did a study. I just saw someone post it on ChatGPT. I think it was MIT, basically saying the effects of ChatGPT usage on like your AI isn't making us more productive. It's making us cognitively bankrupt. So 4 months of watching, studying the brain of like people that use ChatGPT all day. And it said brain scans reveal the damage, neural connections collapsed from 79 to 42. That is a 47% reduction in brain connectivity. So I don't know how real this just came out. People, I'm sure, are going to read it and decipher it and whatever it is. But like, I would have thought the opposite, because like I see how my kids use Alexa. It makes them want to be more curious and ask the next question, the next question, the next question.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is true, and I don't know if that's really happening. But like, ChatGPT makes me want to be more curious
because it's so easy.
Yeah. I think
you can ask anything.
Yeah. And that's like, I literally like it. For the first time, like I always felt like the Google search tail was going to be really long for a very long time. I'm probably 50% on search on ChatGPT now.
So Google has their AI. So if you search anything, it's not even close to ChatGPT.
It's just not. It's just not the same experience. It's just cleaner on ChatGPT, and I like it.
And it's more expansive.
Yeah, and
you
so
get like a full essay.
Like for example, like I'm trying to think I think I use it for find me a I was in Midtown. And I said, find me the best bagel shop in Midtown, under 40th Street, north of 34th Street. And I found me a bagel shop, 35th Street.
And the other thing that people should really know, because even though I come from a finance background, I'll watch CNBC and I won't understand something that some speaker or interviewee is talking about.
Yeah.
I just put in ChatGPT, tells me in 2 seconds. I'm like, oh, okay, I got it.
Wow, breaking news. The Buss family is entering an agreement. Buss family owns the Lakers.
Wait, what?
They're selling majority
ownership
What's going
of the
on?
Los
Hold
Angeles
on.
Lakers. I gotta go
on
Twitter.
To
Is
Mark
this real?
Walter, the CEO and chairman of Diversified Holding Company, TWG Global.
Shams tweeted it.
Wow.
So
I
it's
don't
real.
even know who. Oh, Mark Walter owns the Dodgers.
Is he
Wow.
Guggenheim?
Wow. It looks like it's Mark. Big Mark. Dang. Breaking news. I like it.
Majority ownership. Jesus Christ. This is like landmark news in Los Angeles.
Yeah. So
$10 billion? Is that the number?
I don't know. But yeah, that's probably what it is. I think even Jeannie Buss saw the writing on the wall. She's like, this is a way overvalued sport.
I mean,
just look at this. Look up right now. What was the NBA Finals Game 1 ratings? 8 million people? 10 million people?
I'm sure lower.
What was Caitlin Clark?
NBA Finals. I'm putting ChatGPT.
I'm gonna do Caitlin Clark. Indiana Fever ratings TV. I'm just like NBA really
8.9 for NBA Finals. Can you confirm?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
I think it peaked at 9.4 game 4.
Oh, sorry. It was 2.2 million, not 20. That's a huge difference. Huge difference. But when she doesn't play, it's 50% less.
I don't like Clay Travis, but he said she should just start her own league.
That's a good idea, actually.
Because she's the draw.
Yeah. So literally, it's one person. So nobody else. But the more interesting thing is, it's like, let's say you are interested in owning a sports asset. I would rather own the WNBA today than the NBA. If I were to buy at this price.
Yeah, the growth is definitely higher.
I think women's sports has way more upside than the NBA.
Do the Buss family think LeBron's leaving for Maverick Carter's league, which is why they sold?
I mean, no, I don't think that he has any part of the decision, to be honest.
No, meaning they know he's out. That's a rumor.
Okay. But we know if they go start a new basketball league, nobody's watching.
Internationally, people probably.
Are you watching the big three?
No, but all these alternative leagues have niche audiences.
Yeah.
Like
okay,
you were talking
it's
about.
a niche thing. It's a $500 million business at best. Like, I don't think you're going to disrupt what the NBA is. Like, he has to get is Ant-Man leaving? Ant-Man not leaving. You have to pay him what, $100? You have to be what the Saudis are doing.
Yeah.
So if the Saudis come in and
give each of these guys $150,
they'd have to give, but like, then your career's over basically. Right? Like, you're kind of like, you made a lot of money, but you're no longer part of the fabric of the sport. Like, it could pan out in 10 years. It would take time for any league.
The argument for it is if they can get 5 guys, right? 5 stars.
Look at soccer. Like, Ronaldo's playing in the Middle East. No one gives a fuck.
But he got his bag.
They care there. It's great for them there. But like, we're not watching those games.
I think the play is he could force Maverick Carter and whomever his partners are could force the NBA to buy them in this
maybe
F1
in 10 years
style. Because that's what
I know, but like you're getting LeBron at the
reason why I think it's real. Well, I know the money's real.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah,
but Bill Simmons keeps hinting at it, and that guy knows better than anyone.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't think that has any impact on the Lakers sale. I think this guy made an offer. They could basically said, we own majority, you run the team. I don't give a shit. Who cares about running the team? This guy doesn't want to run the team.
Yeah, this is crazy.
You know what's crazy? I went to a dinner the other day. The guy, I'm like, what do you guys do? And he's like, oh, we're a finance company. I'm like, and we own some properties. I'm like, oh, what property? And he goes, we own the Dodgers. I should get I got to find that guy's card.
Yeah, who is he?
I don't know. I don't remember. It was at a very like high powered dinner, and I got seated next to him, and he's like, his son plays baseball. I was telling me about his son and blah, blah, blah. They were watching his son, like high school game on live stream. And then he's like, yeah, we own the Dodgers. Hit me up. He gave me his card.
Find that card.
Fuck. What if it was Mark Walter?
Yeah, he gets seats.
All right, moving on. Stablecoins. What is stablecoins?
So stablecoins basically is it could potentially disrupt so many
But what is it exactly?
It's a 1-for-1 backed by US dollar.
But
So let's say you have $100 of crypto, a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You can do two things. One, you could just buy USDC, right? If on Coinbase.
But why would I buy that?
Because you could transfer it with no charges. So like you're not paying your
I know, but Coinbase charges money every time you transfer it from one currency to another.
No, but you can buy USDC
Yeah.
and then use it on Shopify, and Shopify doesn't pay the credit card fees.
Mm-mm.
Because Shopify is accepting stable coins. Amazon and Walmart are in talks to accept stable coins. JD.com wants to accept stable coins because
Basically they want to derail Visa and MasterCard.
Yes.
So that's the whole purpose of stablecoin.
Not the purpose. It's just like,
That's
why are
the
we
most
paying
used
the
case.
fees?
Yeah.
Why is JD paying, when someone charges 2% on
I think they
MasterCard?
do 150 billion, so 3% is...
They said it would reduce their fintech payment costs by 90%.
Wow.
JD said. And I played around with Coinbase's USDC. It's freaking good.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This stablecoin revolution, it ramped up, and then the Genius Act passed in the Senate today.
Yeah.
So it's going to the House. So it's not fully done, but it was 68 to like whatever the number is, right? And why doesn't everyone vote? It was 68 to 30. I just realized. That's not 100 senators.
Sleeping. You know how many times people are sleeping during a vote? I used to watch C-SPAN during big votes.
Why don't we require
Congressman Johnson? Congressman Johnson? The guy's fucking snoring in the back.
We're electing these officials and they don't vote.
No one.
Two people didn't vote.
So if any of the younger people have never watched this movie, watch a movie called Distinguished Gentleman. It's with Eddie Murphy. It's probably 30 years old. If you watch it and then you watch what's happening in the world today, it is first of all, it's hysterical movie.
It's great movie.
But it's just like about how Washington DC actually works, and people are like, it's a joke.
It is a joke. But anyways, so Genius Act passed in the Senate, going to the House, and the idea behind the act is basically giving regulatory guidance on stablecoins being a part of the economy. Right now, I think there's 250 billion in stablecoins that are used for payments.
Yeah.
So when you said like, what's crypto being used for? This is the payment part of it.
Yeah.
And it's backed by the US dollar, 1-for-1. So one USDC is $1.
Yep.
And they think they could raise this to like 3.8 trillion pretty quickly, because it's just a faster way to transact money.
Yeah.
And obviously Visa and MasterCard are fucked. I'm just trying to think of other industries that they disrupt.
So a lot of people think it's going to take time to disrupt the Visa MasterCard, because there's a lot of small businesses transactions that are going to be harder to disrupt. So like you need like a Square, or you need one of these companies, like a traditional payment processor, to basically partner with.
Like, what does Ramp charge you? Your company?
I think it was cash back.
So how are they making money?
I don't know.
Interchange,
yeah. Whatever that is, I get 1.5% back.
So they'll probably start accepting stable coins.
Yeah, they'll make more money. Well, it's not good for them, right?
Then they don't have the interchange.
There's no interchange money.
It's
because they're getting the money from somebody.
Just like AI kind of just ramped up in the last 2 years. We've all been talking about it for 15 years.
Yeah.
And then it just happened. It's happening with stablecoins.
Yeah.
Every major company is figuring out how to lower their cost basis.
Yeah.
You lower 2 to 3% on your customer.
Especially on these Walmart type companies.
Yeah.
I bet you Walmart has 100 people working on this. Because you're talking for them at 700 billion of retail spend.
Yeah.
It just falls. You're talking 15, $20 billion falls to their bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
And anyone can buy a stablecoin.
Yeah.
That's the cool part about it. It's everyone with a mobile phone can buy a stablecoin and use it.
Yeah.
So even if you don't have the credit, you can just buy it and use it.
Yeah.
Because getting a credit card, we hear the credit card delinquency rates are through the roof. So a lot of people are probably, out of the financial markets because of it.
Yeah.
This solves it.
Yeah.
You make $50, here's 50 USDC. Go to Shopify and buy a Labubu.
Great. I like that. All right. Moving on. The other big news that I saw, so if you live in LA and San Francisco, Waymo is expanding where it goes. So it actually will, starting very soon, it will expand in LA from the hills down south of the 10 all the way like to Santa Monica, like huge.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
You drive anywhere in LA.
The whole street is just Waymos. San Francisco, I think, goes all the way to like Burlingame or something now. I don't remember exactly where, maybe not Burlingame, but like a much further kind of area. They're have gotten they have applied for a special permit in New York City where a human could be in the vehicle and they could start learning and testing. And so this is like serious revolution happening in transportation. The most interesting thing is, so Tesla is close to launching their robo-taxis, and the accident rate on like autonomous driving on Tesla, I forgot what it was, but it was like fucking nothing, like 0.17. I think Waymo is like 0.4 and the average car is like something way higher. Goldman Sachs put out and said, all this autonomous driving between Tesla and Waymo, we predict auto insurance will go down 50%.
Makes sense.
50%. This is the benefits of this like AI robotic revolution. There will be deflation in certain parts of the economy. Like car insurance is a fucking ripoff.
Total ripoff.
Dude, I drive 2 miles a day.
Why don't you use Lemonade?
I don't know why I don't.
Metro Mile.
Because it's Haley and mine. Haley drives a lot because the kid's school is far.
Because they charge by the mile, which is why we use it.
But like, when we look at a business like that, like, how do you're talking about like, I don't know what our car insurance is, probably like $500-$600 a month. I've never had, we don't, knock on wood, don't have any issues, don't get tickets or anything broken into, nothing happened, but it goes up every year.
Yeah.
It should go down.
Insurance companies are screwed with this AI revolution too. That's another one.
Well, I definitely think car. I don't know where the health insurance ever goes down because that is the biggest inflation in all of American history is health insurance. You can blame greedy corporations and blame Apple and Microsoft and Tesla. The biggest pigs are health insurance companies.
By far.
And
it's actually the pharma companies. The health insurance companies get billed by the pharma companies.
Yeah. Both. Fine. In tandem. They're both part of the problem. But like no one punishes them.
I mean, I'll tell you, I'm totally fine being transparent. There was a drug that Mav was on for over 3 years.
Yeah.
$20K a month was the sticker price. So the pharma company is making the money. Insurance covered it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm paying $50 copay.
Yeah.
There was a drug he was on for 2 months. It was $150,000 each month, the sticker price. Then there was a medicine that I had to argue with insurance in the last 24 hours, and he runs out today. Yeah. And so I need the meds.
Yeah.
And they're anti-seizure meds. And I was like, what's the out-of-pocket price? They're like $4K. It's like, Jesus Christ. It got approved.
Yeah.
But this is how much they're charging.
That's insane.
You're talking millions of dollars on one patient.
Wow. So completely sidebar on the Lakers situation. We'll get back to Big Pharma being horrible. But Mark Walter, the guy that just bought the Lakers majority, earned the first right of refusal if the Buss family ever decided to sell their 66% stake when he purchased Philip Anschod's 26% stake in 2021. In other words, this has been positioned to go this way. So this was like back in the day making. And our friend thinks the price is $20 billion.
That can't be right. How does Mark Walter have $20 billion?
Okay, 10 billion. Shams just came out and said it's 10 billion.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, 10 billion makes sense. Unbelievable.
Good for the Bus family.
Yeah, what did he buy that shit for? Like 5 million, 30 million?
Like 60 million.
Yeah.
The dad did, Dr. Bus.
Yeah.
And now the 5 kids split.
Well, doesn't sound like they only own 66%.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. It's enough money. They each get a billy.
Each get a billy. I'm sure they keep their courtside seats.
Yeah, all that's
They keep the suite.
Yeah. Keep the suite. You're going to have to move over a section. You don't get that big one in the middle.
Yeah, the big ones where they...
Maybe they said you can have for the next 5 years.
This is crazy.
Mark Walters, Long Sports LA. I think if you're going to buy an NBA team, you go buy the Lakers. That's the one you buy.
Yeah, it's them or the Knicks. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth buying any other team. At
I
those
mean,
prices,
all other owners are selling.
Yeah.
Cuban sold. The Bucks
but nowhere
owners,
near this
Lazary
price.
sold.
Nowhere near this range.
No.
Okay, that's great. Moving on. The other big conversation that I saw that was really funny, Sam Altman was on his brother's podcast yesterday and was saying, and I didn't read into it at all, but he said that Meta is offering employee signing bonuses of $100 million.
Makes sense. That's what hedge funds do.
I
We
know,
talked
but
about it on the last pod.
But like when you interview them, what are you asking them to get confident to give someone $100 million?
I think it's just a talent.
But like you can't reference check, right? You can't call Sam like, yo, did Rajiv over here fucking build
Maybe they just put it, I mean,
a test?
yeah, just put them in a test and say like, build out this.
Okay, how many Indians do you need to build this out? If they answer more than one, you don't get the job.
I mean, they just spent what, 15 billion on Scale AI. What's 100 million?
Yeah, I mean that's
for 10 people.
Yeah, 100 people. So what I want to touch on.
No, the important part of this is you have the smartest people in the world just opening the bankroll on this.
Cursor just raised at 18 billion. It's now the fastest growing company ever. No one knows what Cursor was 6 fucking months ago.
Yeah.
And that is a tool that software engineers use to like code. 18 billion. Ramp, by the way, just raised at 16 billion yesterday. Andrew last week raised at 30 billion. So I know where everyone thinks the money is only going into AI. The money
there's a flight to quality.
Yeah.
So if you're quality, you can raise at whatever money.
Yeah. But I think my point is that the energy and activity to deploy money right now is fucking bonkers.
Yeah. I mean, it's also just a kind of a point with how much money's been raised in venture and private equity and hedge funds. They have to deploy it.
Of course, but they've been waiting.
Yeah.
And they're waiting because they know Scotty is about to be the Fed Reserve, about to cut rates, and you might as well jump the gun today.
Yeah.
What we're looking at these valuations and we're like, fuck, this is crazy. But for the quality companies, it doesn't feel crazy, right? Because like you're 18 billion for Cursor. More than likely, Microsoft's going to buy it for fucking $100 billion.
It's nothing for them.
Nothing. It's literally nothing. They're a $3.5 trillion company.
Yeah.
Literally, it's not. Is it? I don't know. I can't even. That math is so big. Was that even 1%?
I mean, that company SSI.
Yeah.
The chief scientist from OpenAI. He hasn't released a product. $33 billion company.
Yeah. Johnny Ives got his company bought for $6 billion, and he did nothing.
No.
Nothing.
He's the design guy.
Yeah. It's the money. I don't know if this AI bubble ever burst. I think it will burst for really shitty companies, but the ones that pan out, they pan out so big. Like Scale AI, they were dead in the water 5 years ago. The companies were 30 billion. Yeah. 30 billion.
Yeah, good for him.
Even Andrew was 30 billion. It's not even that old of a company.
Everyone thought Andrew was expensive at 8 billion.
To me, it's $1 trillion. Everything's $1 trillion.
Yeah.
$1 trillion.
I want to touch on one last topic before we get to winners, losers content.
Yeah.
This cookie company.
Crumbl. Yeah.
So I think TSG bought a minority stake, which you know the firm well.
Yeah.
And at $2 billion. And I looked at the ingredients It's 700 to 760 calories per cookie.
Yeah.
There's 75 grams of sugar.
Yes, it's horrible.
And like 100 grams of carbohydrates.
I thought everyone thought like not too far ago, Crumbl was a bit of like a fraud situation.
I don't remember that.
But so there's a line.
It's like literally the most unhealthy snack you can think of.
I've been gifted a lot of Crumbles. Just, that's like a gift people give. Like, like, oh, thanks for doing business. Here's a fucking box of cookies. The first time I ate the full fucking cookie. I'm not even joking. I was dying.
I mean, it's literally the worst thing you can possibly put in your body.
But there's literally in New York City, when you walk around, there's a fucking line. Crumbl.
So this is like the barbell of it. There's this like wellness route of we think everyone's wellness, but then this company, which is like the unhealthiest shit on the planet.
I don't know, RFK.
He needs to ban Crumbl.
Yeah, if he finds out about Crumbl, probably just is not in the areas he's in. Hey, he lives in Brentwood, right? There's probably a Crumbl in Brentwood.
Yeah, I can't believe how unhealthy it was. I just put in ChatGPT, for example, because I want to say like, what is in it?
Gross. It's bad. All right, winners, losers, content.
My winner of the week is Coinbase with the Genius Act. The stock's up like, I think 17, 18% today. Just getting more clearance on what the regulation is going to be with stablecoins and crypto largely. And the stock's finally getting benefits, and they're partners with pretty much everyone in the major companies on stablecoins, Shopify. They're talking to Amazon, Walmart, like I said earlier, and they're a big winner this week.
It's amazing. Yeah. Big day, big week for them. I mean, this administration is so pro crypto.
Yeah. I mean, that's when you have guys like Sachs, Shriram, who actually understand what it is.
Yeah.
Despite what your belief on their politics are. Yeah, but they understand tech.
Yeah. And that's like the difference this administration from previous administration is like they're putting people who actually understand some of this shit up kind of. So I'm excited to see what they do. And generally speaking, I think I think there will be economic momentum, once the interest rate thing happens. Yeah. Which, looks like it'll happen sometime this year. My winner of the week, it was going to be all these startups because the fundraising is just bonkers money, like one after another. Like every 5 seconds, it's like 30 billion, 50 billion, blah, 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 80 billion. But now it's the Lakers.
Yeah, this is insane.
Because like
the number, I just looked at my phone the last 15 minutes. Every text message is the Lakers.
And I think the thing that like the winner is the Buss family. And I have another loser, but the loser is to me the NBA because it is a clear to me, like one, all the owners are cashing out. Only people that can own these companies now are going to be private equity investors types. I think it's going to change sports dramatically because so much of like the joy, so much of the entertainment value was the owner also. Like Dr. Buss was a big part of like the story of the Lakers.
I mean, even James Dolan, who's a villain in New York.
Yeah, but it's fun that he's a villain and people shit on him and he fights with people. Yeah, like it's
kicks
fun.
Out players,
kicks out players, and just like Jerry Jones and like these things. I fundamentally going to change sports. I don't know if it's for the better or the worse, but I do have like concerns about like I think NBA is fine. They'll just keep making money and their money will keep flowing.
Yeah, they have a 10-year media deal.
Yeah, the problem is like it's kind of ridiculous to have 8 million people watch the NBA finals.
Yeah, it should be 20 million.
Easily 20 million. 8 million is a joke. That means no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, it's two small market teams. And
by the way, like I'll tell you from a little kid's perspective, like my kids, we had TV. We were gone. I forgot what day. Came back home in the evening. I was like, you have 15 minutes of sports. What do you want to watch? They go, we want to watch Shohei pitch.
Yeah.
They didn't want to watch the game, basketball game. They're like, we want to watch Shohei pitch.
So Magic Johnson was on First Take earlier this week. And he there's this debate on what a superstar is in the NBA. And SGA obviously won the MVP.
Yeah.
He scores 35 a game. You know, he's incredible. He said, you know what a superstar is? Can they go on the road and sell out a stadium?
Yeah.
No one on either of these teams can sell out an arena.
No.
On their own.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how good they are.
Yeah.
LeBron can.
Yeah.
Steph can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it and I didn't appreciate.
I think LaMelo can.
What?
LaMelo can.
Yeah. But I do think like what the sport could use is a Shohei. Like if they end up fluking to a next superstar whose just talent is just like on another level and personality and all those things, because like in soccer, there's a lot of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who can sell.
A lot of guys like
Mbappe, Neymar, Cristiano, Messi.
Yeah, and even like now that my kids are into it, we watch all these European Saka, Cole Palmer, all these names. These names are like bigger than life.
Yeah.
And like the internet makes Lamine Yamal. These are like humongous figures. And I think NBA just has, for whatever reason, like doesn't have it.
Because it's all foreign guys who are the best guys.
I know, but like soccer, literally, those people speak any language.
Yeah.
And God knows where these people are from. It doesn't make sense. It's not about, I don't think it's about foreigners. I think it's the sport. There's some like formula has gone wrong. And
because the media around it's bigger than ever.
Yeah.
I think the media around it
but they need to start.
Honestly
it's like
bigger than the game.
Clark.
That's the thing. I think the discussion of NBA is bigger than the actual game.
Yeah. So that is a good sign that at least people do care.
Like
they just don't watch.
People care about this Lakers franchise changing ownership more than they care about the next game.
Yeah. All right. Loser.
Loser of the week, man. I think just geopolitics. It's too crazy. I don't want to have a view on anything because it's not safe, but
not safe to have a view.
Not safe to have a view, but it just seems dicey.
Yeah. I do think it's a whatever happens, it's going to change the region forever.
Friend of mine in Dubai said he's in the freight industry. They said they're considering closing the airspace over Dubai.
Oh, which is crazy.
Which is insane.
Yeah. Okay. All right. My loser of the week is I wanted to say Jerome Powell, mainly because
too late, too stupid.
He is too late, too stupid. I do have like I'm like cautiously optimistic about the economy, but I'm also nervous that at any moment we're at the brink of something, and I don't know what that is. It could be nothing, and I just have like a bad feeling for no reason. But man, like I'm just shocked that this guy won't cut interest rates. It's just so fucking annoying.
Yeah, it seems political.
Yeah, because it's going to spur the economy. The thing about the inflation piece, I don't think a half point of interest rates is gonna. We don't have the cash in the system like we had.
I mean, we see home sales are at like all-time lows because no one could afford a home.
No, yeah, you can't do the math to justify buying a house right now.
No,
like I literally
8-9% mortgage rates.
I was talking to Haley about it, my wife, and we were like, "How long do you think we're gonna be here?" And I'm like, "Probably a while." And she was like, "Well, I want to redo the front." I'm like, "I think it's cheaper to redo the front in a rental home and just fucking pay for it and be happy that you have what you want, because like, we have to pay double to live here if we bought it. Why would we do that?"
I extended my lease 2 years.
Yeah, it's just like, well, there's no point. And things.
You said I was going to be 14 years minimum. I'm already at 4.
Yeah.
So now another 2.
Yeah.
Plus 2.
Yeah. I said, you're going to be like 60 and you're like, oh, should we buy something now? All right. Content.
Oh, amazing content. Ted Cruz, Tucker Carlson. Have you seen the clips?
I just said, do you know how many people are in Iran?
It's just so good. They're just fighting the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Tucker's obviously right wing, and he's pro-Trump, Cruz, pro-Trump. And even on that side, like obviously liberals have their own problems.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about that. But even on the Republican side, they can't even agree on anything.
Well, Tucker has always said on the war piece, he was never for any conflict.
But it is entertaining. They're fighting like middle schoolers.
Yeah. I can't wait. I'll listen to it. I like Tucker. I'm a Tucker guy.
He likes nicotine. He talks about it all in.
His best friend's Indian. Tucker's.
Yeah, I know.
My content. So I finally have been home the last 5 days. So at night I was like, all right, I want to watch a show. So I've watched a lot of TV in the last 5 days. I watched Sirens on Netflix. Incredible. Very entertaining. More like a Desperate Housewives vibe, but great. I watched Stick on Apple TV, which is Owen Wilson as a washed-up golfer finds a 17-year-old phenom and convinces him and his mom to go on the tour. Unbelievable. So entertaining. Incredible show. And then I started watching whatever the new season of Ginny and Georgia, which is mom and daughter. I
don't even know any of these shows.
They're just Netflix cult shows. So I literally binged watched all these shows in the last 5 days.
Nice.
At night.
What was your favorite?
Sirens is really good. The ending's stupid and annoying, but I liked it. I think Stick is just...
I'm surprised you haven't gone and seen Karate Kid in the theaters. That's your show.
I know.
Just take Dom.
What is it, PG? Or PG-13? Because the Netflix show is not suitable for young kids.
Got it.
They're just fighting. They're doing dumb shit on that. But that's my content. And then hopefully tomorrow, Thursday, so there's something called Club World Cup happening, FIFA in America. And Rose Bowl is hosting a lot of games. And PSG is at the Rose Bowl tomorrow. So I'm hopefully going to that tomorrow night with the kids.
Oh, wow. Who are they playing?
I don't even know.
There's a PSG store at Century City. Go get them some gear.
I got them. They have the PSG kits I got for them 2 years ago. They still wear it every week.
Before we get to shout outs.
Yeah.
I know you were early on the Labubu craze.
Yeah.
I feel like it's escalated in the last month. For someone that has no, interest in that industry.
I will give a scoop that is known because it happened last night, but probably the average US consumer won't ever hear about it. So in China, 618 is a huge shopping holiday created by JD. JD, basically it's like a Prime Day, but now every retailer participates in it. So they all have, every brand, every store has something, 618. Pop Mart released product on their Chinese website yesterday.
June 18th, you mean? Okay.
Pop Mart released product on their website yesterday. Product was selling so fast, the delivery dates are for the future. You are pre-ordering. They're Travis Scotting this situation because I don't think they can keep up with demand. There was deliveries for July, August, and January. They have that much demand. I think they did fucking $10 billion yesterday, probably.
So I saw Mickey actually sent me, I was like, show me the most expensive Labubu.
Yeah.
There's a Vans Labubu collab on Pharrell's Marketplace.
Yeah.
$6,000.
Yeah. There was a live auction today that sold 6 Labubus for 6 figures.
6 figures?
Yeah. I forgot the number, 300 grand or 100 grand, something crazy. I
have some fake ones. I have some real ones.
Yeah. So the real issue that I have, my concern about it
These are the fake ones. If anyone sees them on camera.
Fake. The foo-foos. The real concern I have about it, if I am Pop Mart, because I've had this conversation with a few different people about it who have been following this since the beginning. Most toy crazes start with children, right? Beanie Baby, it starts with kids obsessing over it, and then it floats into the zeitgeist and into fashion. To this day, Beanie Babies are in every single toy store. To this day, you can find it. And then there was a feverish kind of pitch, and then it kind of disappeared. My concern, if I'm Pop Mart, this started in fashion in America. Forget China. China had a different beginning. If you start in fashion and high-end fashion, you go away. So like, if you think about like what they have to be very careful of is, okay, today every woman has it on their Birkin bag. We know what's next. I saw it happen yesterday on Instagram. Tom Brady put it on his belt loop.
Oh, he did?
On his Instagram with his daughter.
Yeah, Tom Brady?
Okay, so what's going to happen? Young Thug is going to put 60 on his fucking belt.
Every DJ will put it on marshmallow.
Okay, so everyone's going to put it everywhere, right? And what happens when something is everywhere? It's not desirable anymore. And I think they have to really, if I'm them, I double down on like, not the fashion crowd, but you need to get kids fast. Because if the kids love it, it doesn't matter what happens in fashion at all. It does not matter if fucking Lisa, who like really blew this thing up, is wearing it, or if fucking Tom Brady or like whoever it fashion girl is. It doesn't matter. Kids love it. They're going to buy it. And by the way, like it's not allowed in my kid's school.
Labubu's?
No.
Why?
Why do you think? Probably causes problems. Every kid knows what a Labubu is. And what's funny is when I brought one for the kids, whatever, a month ago or 2 months ago, he wore it on his backpack and they were like, no, you can't wear it.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
It's insane. All right, shout outs. First one from Andre. Shout out to the gents for giving us great content while leading busy lives. All right, that sounds like an insider post, but we appreciate it, Andre. From Mike, it's my fiance's bachelorette weekend. She's a longtime listener and big fan of y'all. Please help me wish her having a hell of a weekend. May the hangovers be short, but the memories last a lifetime. Oh, sounds like a great time. And congrats on getting married soon. From Tommy, shout out to my soon wife, Kylie. She turned 30 this week and we are getting married this weekend. In the car, we always listen to GC. Kylie is my better half and deserves a shout out. Wow, another wedding. Congratulations. It is wedding season, summer.
Yeah.
Best time of the year to get married. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Things are crazy out there and let's hope for the best.
Peace.